in the moment here in time when Ron DeSantis is telling public school teachers, not private school teachers, but public school teachers, that they must remove books from their classrooms, and some of them are literally stripping the entire classroom of all its books because they don't want to face a felony conviction that includes prison time for having the wrong books in their classroom library. At the same moment that that is going on, there is a movement on the hard right of homeschoolers led by Mr. and Mrs. Saxon, presumably as in Anglo-Saxon, because this is not their real name. Their real names are Logan and Katja Lawrence in Upper Sandusky, Ohio, at least according to this report over on Huffington Post titled Inside the Online Community, where homeschoolers learn how to turn their kids into wonderful Nazis. Now, you might think that wonderful Nazis is a wild exaggeration about what these homeschooling parents are trying to do. So let me just share with you. This is Christopher Mathias wrote this piece for Huffington Post. Quote, "We are so deeply invested into making sure that that child becomes a wonderful Nazi," Mrs. Saxon told the podcast host, "and by homeschooling, we're going to get that done." They launched this channel called Dissident Homeschool on Telegram after years of searching for and developing Nazi-approved material for their own homeschool children. The lesson plan, which has thousands of subscribers now, includes ready-made lessons plans authored by the Saxons on various subjects like Confederate General Robert E. Lee, a grand role model for young white men, and Martin Luther King Jr., the antithesis of our civilization and our people. They have copywork assignments available for parents to print out so that their children can learn cursive by writing out quotes by Adolf Hitler. There are recommended reading lists with bits of advice like, quote, "Do not give them Jewish media content," end quote. They even posted an audio message of their kids shouting Sig Heil. They created this while hiding, as I mentioned, hiding behind a fake identity, but this group has tracked them down. Anonymous Comrades Collective is the name of the group. Mrs. Saxon wrote, "Without homeschooling our children are left defenseless to the schools and the gay Afro-Zionist scum that run them." You know, I think the Saxon family would be very, or actually the Lawrence family apparently, would be very welcome down in Florida right now. The relatives confirm that Logan and Katja homeschool their children and that they have a German shepherd named Blondie, which is the same name as Hitler's dog. Mrs. Saxon revealed that, quote, "Until 1945, there was a sign in the city limits," this is the town where they live, "that said no Negroes allowed within the city limits." It actually used the N-word, that sign, but nonetheless, they're quite proud of that fact, that they live in a sundown town. One of the lesson plans is to take a racist quote by George Lincoln Rockwell, a Nazi, and do it in cursive. "A leopard doesn't change his spots just because you're bringing him in from the jungle and try to housebreak him and turn him into a pet," says Rockwell. Right. I mean, this is the worldview of these white Christian ethno-nationalists like Ron DeSantis and the people around him and you know, the people who are just flying. And as I said, I was reading the headlines of all these right-wing newsletters and publications this, you know, over the weekend, or, you know, that were published over the weekend, you know, claiming that, oh yeah, well, there's no racism here. Look at that, black cops beating black people. Well, no, that is also racism. Because, like I said, they wouldn't have been beating on white people that way. I mean, obviously, it was these cops just decided they wanted to go out and have some fun kicking the crap out of somebody, and he was the first black guy who came along. In my opinion, you think I'm wrong? Give me a shout.